Today's one of those days. Again, we didn't do anything. I worked, the kids played, we had a Spanish class, which is awesome. By the end of our stay here, our Spanish is gonna be awesome. Everybody give me a thumbs up. As promised, I'm gonna do a video today that is like a catch-up video from our previous adventures. Specifically when we left our Alaska videos. I think the last post was, our last post was leaving McCarthy. So what happened after McCarthy is us driving to Valdez, salmon spawning, and northern lights. That's what's coming up. We last left off in our 2015 Alaskan adventures with the drive out of McCarthy, Alaska, where our trailer lost a brake assembly. We continued on with one less break in the airstream and made it to the small town of Valdez, Alaska. This is where we will pick back up in this edition of Molly Mish Alaskan Adventures 2015.
Hey, good morning. We're now in Valdez, Alaska. We drove out of McCarthy a couple days ago after staying there for 5 days. When we drove in, we didn't think the road was that bad. A lot of people told us about how bad that road is. 60 miles worth of dirt. And it basically was, except for about 15 of those miles was what's called a chip-sealed road. Means no asphalt, but not gravel either. So it's basically like a worn-out road after all the asphalt has been worn out. But, you know, you can go 50 easily and smooth. There's a couple of potholes you can easily avoid. So we didn't think it was that bad. But it rained for like 3 days straight while we were there. Man, and that rain really did a number. It really did a number on that road. So on the drive back out, it was bad. It was probably the worst road that we've ever driven on anywhere. But particularly, you know, Alaska, there's been a lot of bad roads, and through Canada and the Alaskan, and that was the worst. That was the worst by a long shot. We couldn't go as fast as we were driving in on the way out. Lots of bumps, a lot of places where the road could get good for a little while, and then all of a sudden just these huge potholes. I mean, it got to the point where the rain turned what formerly were washboards into just a series of potholes. So we had the front of our oven door came off, our table came off the hinges and then like bent the leg. Luckily both of those things were able to fix. When we got almost all the way out, we're only about a mile away from Chitna, which is the end of the 60-mile road. We can almost see it, and we started hearing this grinding sound. This grinding sound was coming from the passenger rear tire of the trailer. I'll show you. So we had to stop. I was fearing for the worst. Something, you know, catastrophic that would put us dead stop, needing a tow or something. This one. So it's making an awful grinding sound. So we got out, I rolled back, inspected a little bit, rolled forward again. The sound was kind of constantly changing, and for a while driving down the road we were hearing like this rattling sound coming from the back, and in retrospect I figured out what it was. It was the brake assembly. The electric brakes in a trailer has this little adjustment nut that kind of brings the little calipers in and out, and you know, when the brakes kind of wear thinner, you can push them out a little bit so it doesn't require as much effort for it to bite. From all the bumpy roads, apparently that little piece of metal with a nut had come loose off of its place, and it was just kind of rattling around in there, and eventually, yeah, it got wedged into something, started making the sound. So we stopped, didn't know what to do, but you know, first things first with a tire issue like that. So I put the other tire up on 4 blocks, got that tire off the ground, and took the tire off. Once we took the tire off, I was able to take the brake off, and once the brake came off, it was obvious what it was. I'll show you. I got the part out right here. So there's a piece somewhere in here that used to go here with a little adjustment nut on it, and that came off, so I just kind of kept these two things loose. And then the retainer spring like this on this side, it used to be one on this side, that came loose too. So this was just kind of loose in the hub. So took that completely off, so which meant of the four trailer tires, I only have brakes on 3 of them. The 2 in the front axle and the 1 in the back. It's perfectly fine to take that off while you drive. But what I was worried about is while I'm driving, if the brakes on the trailer were biting too hard, you can have the trailer kind of push. Because if it's braking on 2 wheels on the left, on this side, and only 1 wheel on this side, when you brake, there's more momentum. It's gonna the back is gonna want to slide out like that. So I dialed a brake controller way down just on the way out, relying mostly on the truck, which you don't really want to do for long. But the truck does have a Jake brake, which is kind of a nice thing that I didn't have before. And because we lost our van and upgraded to the truck, we have that capability now. So coming down into Valdez, there was a stretch of road where it was pretty steep, and for a long time, turned on the Jake brake. Didn't have to touch the brakes at all. So it was pretty safe driving here. But now that we're here in Valdez, there's services, there's places we can buy stuff at, ship stuff to. We're at the Valdez Elks Lodge, just in their back parking lot on the grass. It's free. As Elks members, we get to stay here for free, which was nice because we didn't know anything about where to stay. And our friends that had been here, they've stayed at either out of town, 15 miles out of town, across the bay, or they stayed in private RV parks that cost $25 to $30 a night for dry camping, which none of them sound very good. But then we found out the Elks Lodge was right in town, and we can walk to everything basically for free. So that was awesome. So what I've got now is I've got a pair of trailer brakes coming from Amazon. They should be here on Tuesday. Today's Sunday. So we're staying here for a couple more days than expected. And today we're going to go see some Tidewater glaciers. We're going on a boat. We're going to go see Columbia Glacier. It'll be our last big sort of tourist sightseeing thing before we leave Alaska. Our only big one, really. The only one that we're paying this much money to do. For our family of 5, it was just about $400, which is a lot, but considering we were looking at paying $350 for 2 adults to do a similar trip in Seward, this seems like a pretty good deal. You know, Tidewater glaciers are something that we haven't seen yet since we've been here. Those are the ones that come right down to the ocean, and pieces of ice fall off and make huge splash in the icebergs on the water. So we want to see that before we leave. So hopefully that's today. Maybe some wildlife. Anything can happen. What about you, Ava? Do you want vegetable or you want the creamy clam chowder? Huh?
The water deepens up pretty quickly because the valley narrows out.
our stay in Valdez, we also were fortunate enough to finally witness the Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights. A summer trip to Alaska does not normally guarantee a sighting because the days are so long and it rarely ever gets dark enough at night for them to appear. The conditions of electromagnetic storms coming from the sun also has to be just right for the location for them to be visible. We also visited the Solomon Gulch hatchery from across the bay. Millions of pink salmon come here to spawn at the hatchery, but most of them will never make it up the river, as the hatchery limits the number of fish they accept each year. For these salmons, this is the end of their road.
Almost exactly 2 months ago, we crossed into Alaska. That's not counting the drive up and then the drive down. So we've spent in the state almost exactly 2 months this summer. And I think we're pushing. We could have came earlier. We could have also suck it up and leave later to get. You could probably squeeze 3 months out of this summer.
Yeah.
We're about to go back the road that we came in on with all those waterfalls. We just decided.
You're gonna miss it.
We passed Tetland Junction and we're like, you know what? We're not ready. This is our chance.
Who wants to go to Chicken?
We're doing this 66 miles to Chicken and then we're doing top of the world highway.
What's a toe shot?